Coming up on the KCRG-TV9 News at 5:30, a shooting in Cedar Rapids that involved a police officer early this morning with 2 officers involved. Hatched, a new eaglet is now part of the Decorah Eagle family.
Live in high definition from your 24-hour news source, you're watching KCRG-TV9 News at 5:30.
Thank you for joining us on this Sunday. A shooting in Cedar Rapids overnight involved police where at this hour there are still more questions than conclusions. Now 2 Cedar Rapids police officers are on administrative leave. How did the observation of a car speeding and driving recklessly here on Sunday morning on A Avenue Northeast in front of Unity Point Health St. Luke's Hospital end up like this? A mangled car with windows missing a half-mile away in an alley, with police saying that they'd shot the driver. Investigators said on Sunday that at about 2 a.m. that morning, officers saw the orange BMW speeding in front of the hospital before turning left and going the wrong way down Coe Road, which is 12th Street to the south and eventually Center Point Road northeast to the north. By the time police tracked down the car, it was in an alley, this alley between Center Point Road and Daniel Street Northeast, just off of H Avenue. Cedar Rapids police said that they had gotten out of the squad car and the driver then accelerated the BMW in a reckless manner. Police said 2 officers fired shots at the vehicle, hitting the driver with gunshots, who was described as a white male. Sarah Perkins heard it all happen outside her back door.
Waking up to my fiance saying shots are fired, stay down, and then I heard about 10 gunshots afterwards, and then cops yelling, get down, and then a female screaming and yelling.
Responders took both the driver and female passenger to a hospital for treatment. They're out, but charges have not been filed as of Sunday night. In this neighborhood, work crews spent the afternoon fixing the utility pole where the car had crashed. Police said on Sunday morning they would not offer any further information on the incident or the shooting. As we're all still awaiting more details on the incident, such as how many shots hit the driver and if any charges will be filed in the case, the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation is also looking into the shooting. The Department of Criminal Investigation also worked another officer-related shooting in Cedar Rapids in 2013. Cedar Rapids police officer Zachary McKinstry shot then 17-year-old Matthew Johnson multiple times at Advance Auto Parts on Center Point Road. The Lynn County Attorney's Office said the shooting was justified since Johnson was out of control at the time. Johnson went to the hospital for a little bit more than a week after the shooting. A month later, Johnson was charged with second-degree burglary and second-degree criminal mischief. The officer went on paid administrative leave. Whenever you see news happening, give us a call on Newsline 9. That phone number is 319-365-9999. You can also send pictures, information, and videos to newsroom@kcrg.com. Meteorologist Chris Havley joins us now with the first alert forecast on this rather breezy Sunday, Chris.
That's right. Perhaps breezy is an understatement. Very, very windy conditions today, but we had some beneficial sunshine, especially here in the late afternoon and evening hours, which has helped to bump our temperatures up. A live look at the city cam on Cedar Rapids south side, and the windmill turbine going pretty quickly out there. Current conditions, everyone reporting right now pretty much in the mid and upper 50s. Winds still blowing at about 15 to 30 miles per hour. The good news is our winds will be dying down through the rest of our night tonight. We're going to keep the clear skies around, which will help those temperatures fall down to the low 30s. But we're in store for more mild days coming up here in the early part of the work week. And also, I'll let you know we'll see some chances for rain coming up the week ahead. Chris?
Thank you, Chris. Even though a Vinton teenager lost her life last month, her story lives on through her family and her friends. After spending days in the hospital, 14-year-old Emma Redlinger died from a gunshot wound to the head on February 28th. Investigators say a friend she was with accidentally fired a rifle. But today, those who loved her focused on the memories of Emma's life, many gathering to raise money for a benefit for the family this weekend. Loved ones organized a silent auction, raffle, musical entertainment, and T-shirt sales. Emma's mother, Amy, said the teen marched to her own beat and lit up every room.
She just loved life. You know, she was a happy girl. She really was. I'm very proud to say she was a very happy child and a happy young lady. She lived a good life. She did. Short, but good.
Amy added that the money will help pay for the medical expenses related to to the shooting. We're also told any additional monies will be donated to the organizations that the 14-year-old enjoyed. TV9's Joe Casper will have more on this story at 10, including what her friends remember the most. Unemployment in the Waterloo-Cedar Falls metropolitan area is the highest of any urban cluster in Iowa, but still well under 6%. That's according to the Iowa Workforce Development Statistics. The Waterloo-Cedar Falls Courier reports unemployment settled around 5.2% in that area in February. Experts say the John Deere layoffs have not impacted those numbers yet. Statewide, the jobless rate was 4.1% in February. Iowa City is asking for volunteers to help clean up the riverbanks and the streams. The cleanups involve removing invasive species and debris to help try to maintain the water quality and protect local waterways. One cleanup was today. There will be 3 more in April, the 12th, the 19th, and the 26th, all from noon to 3. And the sites will be along the Iowa River Trail and Ralston Creek. The city says people of any age are invited to help out. More news from the nest. The first 2015 eaglet from the Decorah bald eagle nest hatched on Friday night. And at 8:16 this morning, a second arrived. Here's a look at D22, who hatched this morning. The Raptor Resource Project says they're expecting more to arrive soon. Expect another relatively young Republican senator to make a play for the White House in 2016. First-term Florida Senator Marco Rubio is expected to announce his campaign for the White House next month, specifically during the week of April 13th. According to the Tampa Bay Times, Senator Rubio has reserved the Freedom Tower at Miami-Dade College for this. Texas Republican Senator Ted Cruz is already in. He announced his candidacy last week. Senator Cruz will be in Iowa in just a few days. On Wednesday, he will visit Dubuque, and on Thursday, he will hold a town hall meeting in Cedar Falls. Today, Cruz, also in his first term in the Senate, said he does not like how the Obama administration is handling Israel.
I don't think it should be America dictating the solution there. Israel is a sovereign nation, and I trust the leaders of Israel to determine whether they want to adopt a one-state solution or a two-state solution.
This comes as Israel is in the middle of peace talks with Iran over its nuclear program. The nations are trying to meet a deadline set for Tuesday to have a framework agreement. Indiana Governor Mike Pence is defending a new state law that is picking up attention. Supporters of the religious freedom law argue it lets businesses cite their religion as a legal defense, but some critics say it allows people to use their religion to discriminate against those who might be gay or transgender. Today, Governor Spence said it's not about discrimination.
I will not push for that. That's not on my agenda, and that's not been an objective of the people of the state of Indiana. And it doesn't have anything to do with this law.
Well, I have to disagree with the governor because I think it's absolutely about discrimination.
Pence said he will not make any changes to that law. A team of researchers at the University of Iowa is back from Switzerland after working on the giant particle accelerator there. Now they're getting ready to try to study the findings from round 2 once the machine they helped build fires back up. And a new set of standards for teaching science in schools in Iowa is also under review. And some parents and state education leaders worry that those new standards might be difficult to implement.
Live, on air, and online from your 24-hour news source, Chris Earl, meteorologist Chris Havley, and Josh Christensen Sports. This is the KCRG-TV9 News at 5:30.
A University of Iowa researcher has been involved with the Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland is getting ready for another round of testing. The collider smashes particles into each other at light speed. It also allowed scientists to finally observe a new type of particle 2 years ago. UI researchers built some of the parts that helped in that discovery. Now the accelerator is getting back into action in Switzerland. As TV9's Brady Smith reports, researchers are getting ready to study its effects half a world away.
There are a couple of devices here.
We caught up with Professor Yassar Onel last week, fresh off a plane from Switzerland. That's where he and other UI researchers have been preparing for the restart of the Large Hadron Collider, which will hopefully tell them more about the Higgs boson particle, one of the building blocks of our universe.
Now we found it, and we have to understand the detailed properties of this Higgs. And then this second round two will give us this clues, and we'll try to understand that.
One of the collider's key components, a device that measures particle energies.
We designed this here at Iowa, and we built most of the components here in our machine shop.
That device is an important part of the compact muon solenoid experiment, CMS for short. That's getting technical, but the goal is fairly straightforward.
Basically, CMS experiment helps us to understand the nature basically nature, origin of universe, origin of why we are here, and what we are made of.
Professor Onel hopes new data will tell them more about elusive dark matter, the stuff that's all around us, but difficult for scientists to measure in lab conditions.
We only know 4% of matter in this universe we can understand, and 96% what we call dark matter.
Onel and his team will examine that new data over the next few months, but says it could take years to fully comprehend what it all means. In Iowa City, Brady Smith, KCRG-TV9 News.
Thank you, Brady. Some Iowans are concerned about new science standards under consideration for Iowa schools. Next generation science standards were designed by educators across the nation to try to improve science education. But the standards also include sections on evolution and climate change. And some members of the State Board of Education worry that will make next generation difficult to implement across Iowa. A panel is still reviewing the program before making a recommendation to the board. Still ahead in sports, marches for basketball, April, spring football in many corners. A preview from what the Hawkeyes can expect. That's later in sports.
It's been a windy but mild afternoon for us in eastern Iowa. It's a pretty nice night tonight. I'll let you know if we have more nice evenings like this coming up in the full forecast, which is next.
Now, the First Alert Forecast with meteorologist Chris Havley.
An icy start for some folks in eastern Iowa. Saw a little bit of freezing rain here early this morning, created a nice glaze of ice. This picture coming in from Tim Hoffman and over there just towards Dubuque. And the ice was forming on surfaces, but the roads weren't too bad in most spots. Turn around for the high temperatures today. A really nice transition up to about 60 degrees for Cedar Rapids, 59 Iowa City, 60 for Tama, 52 for the high over in Dubuque. A little cooler out there where winds have been out of the northwest and a little cooler with some snowpack still left over in a few spots the farther northeast you go. But that wasn't the main story. The main story was the winds. The winds were really blustery out there. Cedar Rapids reported a wind gust, a maximum of 49 miles per hour, and everyone across eastern Iowa reported at least the mid-30s as far as wind gusts. So Iowa City reported 38 mile per hour wind gusts, Independence at 43, and Charles City even got on the action at a 44 mile per hour wind gust with the winds out of the northwest. Skies are beginning to clear from northwest to the south and east as a cold front does make its way off toward the east. We're going to see clear skies for the rest of our night tonight, and that's going to allow those temperatures to fall back down into the low 30s. That cold front now situated just over towards Illinois quickly races off to the east. Our good friend high pressure moves in on the south. That'll turn our winds around to the west-southwest, which will promote a warming trend coming up here for the work week. We do have a little bit of a weak system just rolling off to our north, but that should remain to our north and keep all precipitation chances away from eastern Iowa. Looking at winds for the rest of our night tonight, they're going to be howling at first this evening out of the northwest. As we go into the overnight hours, winds will lessen up. They're still going to be breezy at around 10 to 15 miles per hour, but they will switch to the west-southwest towards the morning hours and pick it back up tomorrow anywhere between 15 and 25 miles per hour during your day, which is going to bring in that warmer air just in time for the work week. So temperatures are the theme is going to be warmer going into the rest of our work week ahead. Tonight's forecasted lows, 32 for Waterloo, 33 for Cedar Rapids. Clear skies out there and winds will be lighter, blowing out of the west around 5 to 15 miles per hour. Places like Dubuque down to 31. Iowa City will be right around 34 for the overnight low. Tomorrow's forecasted highs looking nice out there. 64 for Waterloo. Winds out of the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. 65 for Iowa City. Everyone's going to be in those mid to low, maybe low 60s the farther northeast you go. A pretty nice day with clouds rolling in later in the afternoon. Looking at the next 3 days, 64 for the high coming up on Tuesday. So another great day. More sunshine probably on Tuesday. Get into Wednesday. Some very mild temperatures, but that's just out ahead of a cold front that'll be swinging through coming up for Wednesday night. They will spark off some thunderstorms late Wednesday night and going into Thursday as well. But right now, so the main rain chances will be overnight. Thursday's forecast will include some rain early. Highs will be near 60, but then we see some cooler weather arriving behind that front. Highs back into the 40s and 50s here coming up for the end of the work week. Mostly cloudy skies to start off. Then back up to the mid-50s for the weekend and some more sunshine coming up for Sunday. But right now it looks like Wednesday night into Thursday morning, best chance for some rain, and it could be some thunderstorms with some brief heavy rain. We'll have to keep an eye on that, but right now not looking at severe potential just yet. We'll keep an eye on that here at the First Alert Storm Center.
Always concerned, though, it's your first spring here for grass fires. Once it gets to be windy and dry, so hopefully not much of that.
Exactly.
Yes, thank you, Chris. The Kentucky Wildcats are moving on in the NCAA men's basketball tournament. Last night, the fans of Big Blue marked the win over Notre Dame by pouring into the streets of Lexington. About 2,000 people ran into the streets surrounding the UK campus. Police showed up in riot gear just in case things got out of hand, such as if the Irish would have hit that three-pointer to win, then they would have really needed it. Fans had the fires going in the streets. Some, of course, took pictures, selfies with officers. Most of the celebrations were relatively calm and peaceful. 13 arrests for a mix of public intoxication and disorderly conduct. 8 taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Lexington, not the only city celebrating. Madison, Wisconsin, fans of the Wisconsin Badgers and even displaced alums living in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, cheering on as the team beat out second seed Arizona. Wisconsin meets Kentucky next Saturday. Michigan State, the other semifinal against either Duke or Gonzaga. An update ahead in sports. And hey, Josh is here right now. Look at that. But shifting to golf, though, Masters still next month. Zach Johnson, some nice placements so far leading up.
That's right. He finished 9th in the Arnold Palmer Invite last week, actually it was. We'll see how he does in the Texas Open down in San Antonio when we come back. Stay with your 24-hour news source, KCRG-TV9.